Their days as armed rebels might be over, but living conditions for these FARC fighters haven't changed much since they began to demobilize. This so-called transition zone known as La Elvira is one of 26 zones in which the FARC will disarm. Around 400 FARC members are supposed to have already settled here, but less than 60 have arrived. The rest are in a nearby camp, waiting for the government to fulfill its promise to equip this transition zone so they can live in decent conditions. At least 17 other zones around Colombia are in a similar state. Construction materials are just arriving, and government contractors believe the zones will be ready in about 2 months. Meanwhile, FARC fighters have created dormitories out of wooden sticks, plastic, and fabric. They groom in the open. But the biggest worry is that the delay might postpone the FARC's disarmament process, a probability the UN monitoring mission already confirmed could happen. By now, at least some of these FARC weapons were supposed to have been put inside a container provided by the UN mission here. But that's not happened as the UN's equipment has yet to arrive. So FARC members have begun their own registration process to prepare for their disarmament. FARC member Orlando Aguilera says the government's delays are not surprising. He's even afraid the government might fail to deliver on other promises, like keeping the FARC safe from former paramilitary members.
They were supposed to demobilize, but that was never real. They're still alive, they're still armed. And we know that we have always been their principal enemies and of the military forces, so I am afraid of them.
The government has acknowledged it underestimated the difficulties in building the transition zones during the peace negotiations, but it also says the FARC's demands have caused delays.
In the Nariño transition zone, when we arrived, the FARC told us that they wouldn't allow construction to start if we wouldn't construct 2 sports centers, an audiovisual studio, 12 offices for commanders, bedroom made out of brick and concrete, and air-conditioned zones of 110 square meters per soldier and 120 square meters for every commander.
Villagers near La Elvira are not satisfied with this explanation. They fear that if the government can't even deliver on the infrastructure of these transition zones, it won't be able to maintain order like the FARC once established here.
This was definitely a dumb war, but at the same time we are now left unprotected. The FARC used to provide protection because they maintained a clear order here.
The growing coca plantations close to La Elvira make these villagers doubt Colombia's new promise of peace. Laboratories produce cocaine, which means there's lucrative drug trafficking routes here. They can become a magnet for armed groups that still remain from Colombia's decades-long conflict. Mariana Palau, TRT World, La Elvira in Western Colombia.